February 9th, 9:47 a.m., District Court, Defendant Levy Number 1. Hello everybody and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. We are now playing as Miles Edgeworth, and as a first for him, he's acting as a defense attorney when he's normally a prosecutor. Now I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that would be not allowed in real life. So, but I guess it's allowed in this fantasy game, so we'll just go with it. So in the last video, we had to break several cycle locks for a few characters. Larry has a big secret he refused to divulge, so we're going to try to see if we can break him in this trial here today. So let's go. Oh my, Mr. Luis feels that way about me? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not. In any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Luis is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini? She claims to have seen the very incident in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Mr. Easton, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed... Don't worry. I made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth? I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. "10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 7. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. Sorry, I cannot do a Canadian accent. I'm just not capable of that, so I'll just do my best to make it different from the other judge. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. Emptying the prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem that this case is already over before he had a chance to begin. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant...
Objection!
The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Jessica Von Conner, prosecuting prodigy. Von Conner, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred Von Conner? Legends go a thing of the past. I am Von Conner. That is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for purposes the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? I'm almost certain I have seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't, but I'm sure, once before, I told you, there is no such weakling. What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip at...
Hold it!
I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there's still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix right here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you by your fearfully histrionic. See this little badge here? Yep, that's the badge that Phoenix gave him. I'm going to add to the things I'm not sure about. People are acting bizarrely in my court. Wah! The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well. Very well, Mr. Von Karma. Please give an outline of this case, with as little whipping as possible. The murder victim is the famed picture book author Mr. Elise Denim. Her body was found to the Hazakura Temple in Koyad. She had been stabbed to the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene. Crime photo added to the court record. The courtyard where Elise Denim was murdered. Turn that volume down a little bit. There was no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there was a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Whoa, is she that short? Witness, state your name and occupation, please. Oh, hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there were a few milk crates in the defense lobby for a back pain-plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini? Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Wah! The Kulam is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery of their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once. Is that lechery or lechery? Not sure. You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way you little Iris could do anything like that. Let's see what you have to say then. First, tell us about Capcom. Fix this spelling mistake. I'm pretty sure a boot is not a word. Let me start over and say that correctly. First, tell us about your own movements, and then night, The night of the murder. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There was no bath in the inner temple, you see, and needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it. So it was simply a coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back had been in so much pain, I would have stayed in the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement that she just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall in the first hurdle, now are you, Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Okay, well, let's see here. According to Iris, she's in her room.
Objection!
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all. Well. Don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No, she said that. A defendant or a witness who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
Objection!
But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. All people lie. There's my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, you must call your memory into question. Dear. You're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Aha. Well, that isn't exactly what My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. It was naive to think that alone would do the trick. And please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. And let us return to the cross-examination. That night I was helping an acolyte with the training in the wait. Hang on. I don't know that's accurate, but she gave this to Phoenix, and so she could not have been dressed like that.
Objection!
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Ha 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 ha. Wait a minute.
Objection!
Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night. Before the lights went out, bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, the iris she saw should have been missing this very hood. Well. It's not bad for it at all. It's wasn't contradictions like this. I don't understand how that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the court. Wow! Sister, this hood, you have a spare runs around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them. I see. A stockpile. A surplus of hoods, eh? Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned. This is quite strange. If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There is no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. There are seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. After my bath. I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and Iris was, Mr. Elise, and with that sword of all things. Mr. Elise was staying in the corner of the room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me sitting there off from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge, his imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name, can't you do something about that habit of yours? I'm gonna check something real quick here. 10 to 11 p.m. Cause loss of blood from stab in the back. Body filled 10 feet after death. sense.
Objection!
Impressive logic. That's what I'd say. That's what I'd like to say anyway. Oh please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Ms. Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. Ah, that's right. It says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? Order. The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And she was then thrown out of the window and down into the courtyard below.
Objection!
Were there any signs of a struggle in Mr. Nim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain. Wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma? Was there any blood? No traces of blood were found in the victim's room. It would just cause traces of blood to be found on a glorious playoff beard. However, there was no blood in the room. I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this. As I'm sure Your Honor is well aware, of when a stab wound produces the most blood. When it produces the most blood, very little blood is actually lost in the moment of the blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with a sword still in place. This removes all the other contradictions. I doubt that. Order. I must admit that this is a probable version of events. I expect no less from Franziska Von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposed supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please, remain sitting on the crate. Don't go selling me short now. The weight of the winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood. Sister, please, give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. With a whip. Oh boy. Alright. Further details. When they crossed the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mr. Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? When I awoke, Mr. Amy was stabbing Mr. Elise through the back. This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strives for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska Von Karma. and I'm here to teach you just that. Okay. Let's see here.
Hold it!
So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right. Some of it has splattered onto the iris too. When the defendant was sort of irised, she was meditating in her room. And her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? That seems to be quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw a little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding? Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you see? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out. Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important? More important than you can imagine. I saw the instant in which the blade plunged in to the hilt was smoothly drawn out. I highly doubt that.
Objection!
Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I like to think that so, but there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain. Explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Objection!
Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble? I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit.
Objection!
That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
Objection!
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a shishito. Even a weapon like of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
Objection!
I'm not finished. There was still one more conclusive contradiction. You've still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? Wait, did I just say that in Von Karma's voice? I'm sorry about that. I keep doing different characters' voices on accident. I'm not used to voice acting, so I'm not Brian Hall, so I can't really do voice acting too well. Anyway, let's continue. If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No! Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Reasoning this many contradictions for a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know can maybe manage one, if that. What does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is, the weapon you used to kill the victim was not the shishito. What? A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made this think this sword was the murder weapon? Well, it's because Mystic Amy was holding it. Exactly. However, if we reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the shishito was the murder weapon. Order! Ah! So maybe that shishito was not the murder weapon. Even that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I want the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes. Namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found. That's answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Excuse me, can I see something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there. What exactly are you going on a boot here? A boot? Does that mean about? About. Maybe it was a spelling mistake, so there was just this Canadian vocabulary. I have no idea. What exactly are you going on a boot here? I mean, maybe. I think I might know where this order was disposed of. You what? Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen? Location of the weapon. I saw the murder around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks that indicated that the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to the escape bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into the Eagle River and came back when I was knocked out. I was to have done that. She could drive a snowmobile after all. Witness, please tell us everything you know right next time. Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quite. They were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here is a photograph. A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. The trucks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Deski Bridge. Truck's photo added to the court record, taken that night from main gate to Deski Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Okay. Let's see here. There's only one set of tracks here of a snowmobile, so I don't think it's possible for her to have, Iris to have gone back. Okay. Oops.
Objection!
I made this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from the heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back. Ah, you're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miss Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your purchase contradiction, now doesn't it? I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return of the trucks in the snow. What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea of the snowfall covered in one set of tracks? There has to be a contradiction here. The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Mr. Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain? Why is there a root index figure currently pointed in my general direction? No need. The evidence will do all of the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow. Or so claims Mr. Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. That would be this. Right here. Snow to 7 to approximately 10:50 p.m. 10:45. 20 minutes pass between the fire starting and then going out. Let me get some water real quick here. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime. Like I said, it was around 11. Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report from Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks to be made after that time to have been covered up. Order. Very well then. It looks like Miss Van Commerce's claim has been snowed in. It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct? No. You've got it wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data. Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have been still snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m. It's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh? What? How did you pull that off? It had stopped snowing and had secured temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it has already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? I think I know what that is, actually. Right here. There's snow beneath her, but there's no snow on top of her. Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell you everything. Of course, I'm referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow. With just one exception. And that is the victim herself, Miss Elise Dunim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, there should be two sets of tracks. Order. Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From their tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. And when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return of the tracks remained. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me. It does, my sister. There is only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant you had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The snowmobiles can't cross the suspended bridge. So she must have left it on the Hezekiah side of the bridge and crossed on foot. That sounds right. But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to the Hezekiah temple, I didn't see anything near the Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hezekiah temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. But that isn't possible. Order in the court. What does it all mean? Nah. So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't made taken by the defendant when she was into the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be two sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hezekiah temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness. Yes, I've nothing more to add. I'm telling you everything that I know. But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night? I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do. That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming up to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subaltern night. Your Honor? Actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really? You know someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind. Which are? First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. And the second being, this individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is a kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you were talking about? Well, it can only be Larry, who calls himself Louis Denim for some reason.
Take that!
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Delaroc's guide to obnoxious French painting. This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Louis Denim. A student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder? could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before we even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, this unfortunate, unreadable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom. Summon this youth as a witness immediately. I had no choice, do I? I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well. Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today's I'm going to get everything out of you. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Mr. O'Connor, please see to preparing the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Good. Well then, court is now in recess. To be continued. Good. I'm about... let's see here. Okay, I'm going to do this one, I guess. Alright, so next time we will continue the trial as Miles Edgeworth and see if we can't get an answer from Larry Butts. So until then, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And until next time, take care.